Tonight we're going to check the Chametz. Right after this class we're going to pray Arvit Be'ezrat Hashem. And the best and most precise way is to check the Chametz right after the stars go out. Meaning we're going to pray Arvit in its time, you rush home and you do your Bdikat Chametz. That's the best way possible. The majority of most households, the Bdikat Chametz is around 3 in the morning. And from Tzedek Kochavim till 3 in the morning, it's when the soul goes out, it's the last freaking out. But nevertheless, one should not go home and eat or do anything else, not to learn, not to do any melacha, right away to do the bdika. If, of course, your house is ready and everything is covered, needless to say, the chametz that you're selling has to be placed in specific places, has to be sealed, has to be marked, that it says on it chametz. Better if you have a duct tape to tape the doors that nobody will open it. The cabinets or the storage, the door, whatever it is, should have a mark on it that it says chametz, that you know. And needless to say, when we learned that during the last couple of weeks, but everything has to be ready for Pesach, which means that your counters have to be covered, the fridge, the whole house has to be ready. Now, once you're ready to start the bdika, you have to check in all the rooms of the house. And all the rooms that there's a high potential for chametz that was in there. I mean, if you have a bathroom in an attic, and most likely nobody goes in there with food, there's no really need to really check it. But nevertheless, anywhere that there's a place that there's possibility for chametz to go in, that you have to check it. And needless to say, if you have a business, a office, a store, a storage, a garage, whatever it is, everything has to be checked. And of course, anything else that you own. If you have a car, then the car has to be checked. I mean, I don't think anybody here has toddlers that you need to check their stroller, but maybe a grandchild's, but that's the responsibility of their parents. But yes, so sorry. So I'm used to the group not having any kids, but I forgot that you're young at heart. So Baruch Hashem. So you got to check the strollers. Now, of course, before you go and check the room, you have to make sure that the room is tidy, it's neat, it's clean, and to make sure that it's easy to check. Now, the check is done specifically now on the 13th day between the 13th and the 14th day of Nisan, and one has to check in every possible place, in cracks, in holes, under the beds, behind things, and it's not enough just to do the bitul. It's not enough just to do the nullification, go for 3 minutes and say, okay, I got it, I did it, and do the nullification. You actually have to check, and Be'ezrat Hashem, we'll dedicate some time, what's more mystical part behind the checking and everything that we do. But nevertheless, it's not just enough to be on your hands and knees for 2 minutes and say, okay, I'm done. Now, needless to say, if the house is not ready clean for Pesach, then don't do the check. Can't check and then continue cleaning. It's okay, listen, nobody's perfect, and that's why I said that most households the check is done at 3 o'clock in the morning. But everything has to be cleaned, everything has to be wiped, stored away, and so forth. Needless to say, before the check, you want to make sure that even your personal items, your coat, your jackets, pants, that you shake everything. Of course, now it might be a minute too late, but it's always good to do all your laundry before, all your dry cleaning, everything has to be cleaned, that now there's no chance of anything can be found. Now, how do you do it? Before you start the bdika, you have to put aside a little bit of chametz for what you're going to eat. And if you don't, then go and order pizza. But nevertheless, you have to, a little bit of chametz that you're about to eat, that has to be placed aside in a very protected place. and that nothing will be dragged from it to where you're going to be checking. And needless to say, you want to keep some food for tonight and food for the morning. Always better tonight's dinner and tomorrow's breakfast should be maybe milk products, or best to have fruit and vegetables. That way you don't have to have now a meal with the burekas and have all the little flakes everywhere all over the place. Today we had two wonderful ladies that came to help us clean, and they came in with their lunch full of chametz. So I was like, wait a minute, is that, no, your wife said it's okay. And I was like, okay, if my wife said it's okay. So it's kind of, well, yeah. So, but Baruch Hashem, they did an amazing job, and Hashem should bless them with many, many blessings for doing such an amazing job and coming last minute to help. Now, we have a custom that we take 10 pieces of chametz and we cover them real good, best in a foil that is not going to start falling apart, and we hide them in different places in the home. We're going to explain very soon more mystical why we do that.
This is after you've already done your search and all.
No. This is what you're searching.
Okay.
Before you search, you make sure everything is clean. I mean, you're going to be searching in the dark, so you don't want to have any obstacles on the way. And I mean, you're not having this issue with running into marbles and plastic soldiers and Legos and all sorts of pieces that can hurt your knees while you're on the floor. But some of us still have this mess on the floor. And yes, putting your knee on a marble or a plastic Lego in a man is like, so you want to make sure that everything is clean. They're not going to start bumping into things. But yeah, before you start, you take 10 pieces of chametz. Better to take it from a pita bread because it doesn't break down into crumbs. Now, in today's day of age, we're so spoiled. You can buy a kit that has already the 10 crumbs ready in a nylon and sealed, and you get it with a feather and the spoon and the whole thing.
Question: what about using like some cookies, like individually wrapped cookies?
Yeah, as long as it's chametz, and as long as it's not going to start spreading all over the house, and as long as tomorrow you can actually burn it.
So what about those biscuits, like in the?
Better to do bread because that's the real deal. Excuse me?
Can you use mezanot?
Yeah, but you wanna use bread and not necessarily cookies or crackers, and best if it's mamash motzi bread, and that it's you don't have any doubts now with the measurement and so forth.
Do you have to use a certain amount? 10 pieces.
Oh, 10 pieces. The piece has to be like a kazait, something small. Something like this is big enough. Don't make it too big pieces because you don't want it to become too obvious. I mean, the point is that you do have to look for it. Now, usually what people most do is that they have the family members hide it, not necessarily the one who seeks for it. So I'll never forget the first Pesach I celebrated as a married man. We were very excited with our new ritual. So I told my wife, please take 10 pieces of bread, wrap them in foil, and hide them. I'll wait in the room. Don't tell me where they are. Okay. She took it a little bit too serious, and the search started. The first 20 minutes I was lucky. I found a few. And then after a while, I was able to find most of them. And then I counted, and I had like what we have in the morning, 9 pieces. I was missing one. Okay, so I go up, down, in, out, and 20 minutes pass, 40 minutes pass, an hour and a half pass. I'm like, come on, what's going on here? And I was like, where is he? She's like, you can't talk while you're doing the bdika. Once you say the blessing. So I was going up and down and looking and searching, and I was like, what's wrong with me? Now it was first Pesach. I was very, very, very machmir. So I was like, huh? She was like, huh? So it was a conversation. And then after a very long while that I was already kind of losing my temper and my patience, like, so she's like, you know what? I forgot where I put it. I'm like, what? So now I'm stuck with a crumb of chametz and we don't know where it is. So now both of us are looking for it. And after a while, I don't even know how, she opened the door of the cabinet where we sold the chametz, and it was there. So, so that was a very, very long bdikat chametz. And needless to say, the last time that my wife was in charge of hiding the crumbs. So even now, today, my son was telling me, I have a place, you're never going to find it. And I said, well, the point is not for me to spend now 5 hours looking for the crumb. Just hide it in a nice place, and I'll give me 20 minutes. Don't touch. He's like, no, where I have, you'll never find it. So the point is not to now waste your entire night, 5 hours in searching. But the family members should just place them around, not in such obvious places. And best to put it either in foil or in like a little piece of paper. The problem with the foil is you're going to have a problem burning it tomorrow. So either you open it tomorrow, or there's this kind of wrapping paper they use for cooking, for cakes and cookies. It's very easy to cut. Yeah, very easy to like kind of kvetch it, and that's it. And they look like these crackers that you have on Purim that you smash on the floor and they make noise, and that's it. Now, you want to check for the light of a candle, and a candle specifically made out of wax, and you want to use a feather of a bird, specifically a kosher bird, of course. And once you find the chametz, this is all custom. Some people have other customs, but starting about the main path, what most people do. Once you find it, you put it in a paper bag. So later on, you just throw the whole thing to be burned. And needless to say, right before you start, you say the blessing, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu al biur chametz. You can find it in most of the sidurim, or if you buy a kit with the feather and the spoon, then Sarah has already one to show you, Exhibit A, and you can find it in all the stores here on Rehov Yerushalayim for $5 shekels, and usually it will say the blessing on it. If you don't find the blessing, just remember Al Biur Chametz, 3 words. Once you said the bracha, you don't want to have a hefsek, you should not speak during the bdika. It's not the time to check your WhatsApps, not the time to check your Facebook, not the time to put status on Facebook with selfies on the floor like... So I've seen that already, people with selfies posting on Facebook, I'm with my feather world. So this is not the time now to look for chametz. Spiritually, it's a very powerful time. Mystically, it's a very, very deep and profound time. It's not time to play and make selfies and nonsense like that. Needless to say, all the family members in the house should listen to the prayer, to the blessing, kids, wife, and so forth, and they all should be present. And needless to say, a lot of the part of the holiday of Pesach is to teach the kids. So very important if you do have kids and that they see and they participate and they get excited. And I get my little boys; they also get their feathers and their candles, and they're all walking around there, and it's very, very exciting for the kids. And you want to start searching first in the room where you actually say the bracha. Don't say the bracha in the living room and run to the bedroom. The room that you said the blessing should be in the main room. That's when you start searching, and then you go around to the other rooms. And once you're done with the process, you take all the chametz, you put it in the bag with the feather, with the candle, with the wooden spoon, wrap it all up, tighten it that the chametz will not fall out, and put it aside so it can be burned tomorrow. This is not the most important part of the bdika, but a very important part. But there is another part of the checking that is not less important, and that's nullifying the existence of the chametz and any type of possession of the chametz. Now, the majority part here is in your heart, is to mevatel, to nullify, to uproot any chametz in your existence. And needless to say, when you're doing the bitul, then you have to have in mind, like as if it doesn't exist, like the chametz has become sand and dust, and you have it has no value and no need to it, and not any type of existence. Then we say a certain verse in Aramaic. If you don't understand Aramaic, say it in the language you understand. There's no point of saying it in the language you don't understand, because you have to understand what you're saying. And the meaning of the verse, I'm just going to read it and then we'll translate it. Kol chamira v'chamia deika birshuti dela chamite udela bi'arte udela yadana le libate v'lehevei hefker ka'afara de'ara. I always suggest, even if you don't understand the Aramaic, say it in Aramaic and then read the translation. Translation, of course, can be found, everything that I'm saying can be found in all the Sidurim. I don't think there's any type of a Sidur that doesn't have the Seder of Bdikat Chametz. Translation of the verse that you understand what it means, any type of leaven, Chametz and Seor, leaven and yeast that I have in my possession, that I didn't see, that I didn't clean, that I didn't burn, that I didn't even know about it, like we talked about in the morning with the krembo in the shoe, should be nullified and should be hefker, meaning nobody owns it, and it should be like the sand of the earth of the world. Now, if you said the Aramaic, but you didn't understand anything, but you still had the intention for it to be nullified, this is good enough. After you're done, you put all your chametz aside, you leave it in a place for tomorrow so you can burn it. And make sure that if you have a pet, or maybe, I'm hoping you don't have mice in the house, to start moving it around, but you never know, put it in a safe place. And some people do have pets, maybe a cat or a dog that can maybe move it around. It has to be secured in a safe place, and needless to say, in a place that you will find it. That's another problem, that somebody called me last year and told me the chametz that I found, it's locked in the chametz where I sold it. Can I take it out? Tell him, no, you sold it already, it's not yours. So put it in a safe place, exactly where you know what it is. Now we'll just say quickly what we have to do in the morning, even though in the morning we'll explain it more thoroughly. 5 hours into the day tomorrow, we have to burn the chametz. You can burn it before, and we mentioned that here in Tzfat it will be 10:36. This is 5 hours into the day, meaning after dawn, and you have to make a little bonfire. We burn the chametz, like I told you before. Don't bring bags of breads, just a little bit of chametz to burn. Some people have the custom, they burn the lulav. Some people burn other things, maybe their wedding album, I don't know what they want to burn, but I heard of many different things what people threw into the bonfire. Pictures of ex-husbands and the secret files that the FBI should not find. Whatever it is, that's what you want to burn. The IRS, whatever you need to nullify from this world. I'll never forget. My first Pesach, I came with bags of what to say. I had a lot of files to burn. So I came with my lulav, with this and that, and then I came with another bag. And there is a halacha that when you cut your nails, then it says that a tzaddik buries the nails, and a chassid burns the nails. I was like, okay, I want to be a chassid, I'll burn the nails. And of course the explanation of the halacha, why the difference, but the nails have to be have to be buried, so chas v'shalom should not have access, anybody should step on them or have any type of contact with it. There's impurity on the nails, and so you bury it. But it says that a tzaddik, a chassid, burns them. Why specifically a chassid? You're not allowed to burn body parts of your own. It can actually harm you. But a chassid says, I rather take on myself the chance that something will happen to me than somebody else, chas v'shalom, getting hurt, and you burn it. So I was like, okay, I will burn my nails. Comes Pesach, I come to the bonfire with a bag of bread, and I was a rookie, it was the first year, so I came with about 50 foil balls of my wife's afrashat chala. And I was like, throwing them in. I didn't even think that I need to actually open it. Later on I told my wife, why aren't you burning that? Why I have to carry it now for Pesach and burn them? Now, of course I was caught. No, you have to open it. The dough has to be burned. So I came with bags, with shopping bags, getting rid of half the house I went to into the bonfire. And then last but not least, I have a little bag and I'm about to throw it and my rabbi is like, what is that? And I was like, well, that's all my nails. He's like, excuse me? He's like, that's all my nails. He's like, what do you mean your nails? So I said, well, I tell him why the nails. He had the laugh of the month. He was literally cracking up. He's like, why are you burning it now? You have to burn it after you cut them. So I had a bag, a Ziploc full of tissues with nails in there. So don't have to come tomorrow with shopping bags and stuff to burn. Come with a few pieces of bread. And mainly the burning is, you have to burn the chametz, but there's more to it. And needless to say, we also say another chamira vechamia, another verse in Aramaic, meaning a similar thing. And needless to say that the chametz that I'm burning is not necessarily just going on the physical chametz, rather more the spiritual chametz. Now, since we're very close to Tzedek Kochavim and we want to pray on time, a quick explanation. The chametz is representing my ego, my selfness, and my existence, and my arrogance, and these bad character traits of me, and I want, and my way, and so forth. And specifically, it's compared to chametz, because chametz inflates. You put a little bit of yeast in it, and whoop, it starts growing and growing and growing. And that's all my bad midot. That you feed your bad character traits, they will grow and grow and grow and become out of proportions. So there is a reason why we have certain character traits. You have anger, it's not, Hashem created anger for a reason. So you can be angry at the Yetzer Hara that's trying to get you off your path to go to shul. And Hashem created jealousy. Yeah, it's a bad midah. But to be jealous to Hashem, if somebody goes and makes fun of Hashem, you are going to be jealous to the honor of Hashem. So every bad midah can be used in a positive way. Once you, so to say, direct it to a negative place, then it will, needless to say, be used to a very negative way and will inflate and grow and grow and go out of proportion. The idea of the idea behind the burning of the chametz, the cleaning of the chametz, is that I clean myself, my system. And we mentioned before about the 10 pieces. The reason why we do 10 pieces is because we have 10 powers in our soul. It's called Eser Kochot HaNefesh. And the same way that everything in this world manifests from the 10 sfirot, same thing my soul is manifested from the 10 sfirot. First of all, we've been learning the last couple of weeks in the Zohar that each soul comes from a certain sfirah. More than that, every action that I do, a negative action, will affect a certain sfirah. I can do sin number A, and it will affect a certain sfirah. I will do sin B, it will affect a whole different sfirah. That's why now, tomorrow, we start counting Sfirat HaOmer, because I don't know where I did the damage. But, even on a positive note, my soul is built from 10 components. Every one of these crumbs, it's not just drive you nuts and to have you on your hands and knees. Every crumb that you find, the point is that when you are on your hands and knees, is to understand that I'm looking now to the junk in me that needs to be cleaned. And everything that is wrong in me, my bad midot, my bad thoughts, my bad decisions, my bad behavior, I want to clean it. Because tomorrow I'm leaving Mitzrayim. And my Mitzrayim is my limitations. My limitations can be very simple things. It can be a cigarette that I'm addicted to. It can be my phone that I can't put down. It can be a chas v'shalom abuse of a substance. It can be anything. I mean, we are creatures that we very quickly get addicted. And the biggest addiction in this world, in our generation, is called codependency. That I'm dependent on something. And chas v'shalom, I'm not making fun or putting anybody down. I'm just presenting the situation. We all have that. Any person says I'm not addicted to anything or nothing limits me, lives in denial. He's a bigger type of limitation. Because we all have that. Because that's what Hashem wants. Hashem wants us to realize our limitations so we can rise above them. So this is the point of Pesach, that Hashem says, I'm going to give you the key and I'm going to show you the door, but you have to go through it by yourself. And Pesach is the time that we go out of our limitations. Needless to say that in order for me to be worthy and to come and be ready for that auspicious time, then I have to come clean. So I have to do an act prior to that. So tonight when I'm looking for the chametz, yes, I am looking for crumbs. But I have to also look in me, okay, the first crumb, my anger. My second crumb, my jealousy. Third crumb, my impatience. My fourth crumb, my need to, meat. Don't write it down. I'm just throwing things. It doesn't have to be in the order what I'm saying. I'm just sharing you the idea. You can figure out by yourself. You have an issue with being impatient, being judgmental, being angry, being lazy, being weak to whether it's food, a certain type of, whatever it is. You figure it out. But every crumb, so to say, is a level that I want to not only crawl on the floor looking for bread, is to crawl on why are we crawling on the floor? Why are we doing with the candle? I mean, we don't have time really to go through everything. The reason why you're on the floor is to make you humble. You are nothing. Yes, you have a lot of faults and you have a lot of problems and a lot of bad character traits. Don't walk with we're humans, we're walking with our chest up and our head up. Hashem says, no, I want you on your hands and knees, that you understand that you're humble. Humble yourself. Make yourself much lower than what you are. And the reason why we do it in darkness, because we are in darkness. We have to understand that I am stuck in darkness. And specifically the candle, because the candle represents my neshama. Ner havaya nishmat adam. My candle is what lights up the darkness. When I empower my neshama with positivity, then I overpower the darkness. Darkness in my life. The darkness in my life can be so many different things. And you can't find the darkness. There's no such a thing that you can fight darkness. You only can enlight or to empower the light. That's the only thing you can do. Any challenge you have in your life, you have no chance of fighting it. That's Hashem's issue. Hashem says, you leave me my problems to deal with. Your problem, your responsibility is to increase light. That's how you fight it. So, nevertheless, when you're on your hands and knees, you have to think deep. Hashem, I want to be much better with this character trait. I want to be much better here. I want to do this. I want to do that. And that's the whole idea. And when I'm finishing it with it, is I have to also have a decision in my mind that I don't want to have any more of these dependencies. When I became observant, I'm going to be celebrating my spiritual birthday tomorrow. That's when I had my near-death experience. And that's where everything changed. My real Yetziat Mitzrayim. And the first thing, I knew I have to become observant. It took me 3 years to get my engine running even, because it was very hard for me to make a switch in my mind. But what I started working on is getting rid of all the junk first. And I got to a point that I was like, I am not going to let anything in this world control me in any type of a way. Whether it's a cigarette, whether it's a bottle of alcohol, whether it's a drug, whether it's a cookie, I don't care what it is. And the point was to get rid of it. What was the key to getting rid of any type of dependency? Is to make a switch in your mind. You don't make a switch in your mind, you never get rid of it. Once you make a switch in your mind, that doesn't exist, then you're free to go. I quit smoking after smoking for about 14, 15 years, 3 packs of cigarette of Marlboro, red Marlboro, like a chimney I would smoke, and I quit in one shot. One shot! Why? Because there was a switch in the mind, and the switch was like, that's it, I'm not a smoker anymore. That's it. So the point is that that's the opportunity we have tonight. One can argue and say, oh, but who says it's going to work and it's not so easy? But tonight it's an auspicious time. Tonight you're getting a 95% coupon. Hashem says, just do what I tell you, it will work smoothly. You don't have to do much. You just have to bring yourself to the door. Hashem says, I'll give you the key. But you have to bring yourself to the door. Needless to say, tomorrow also with the Leil Seder, this is our opportunity to leave our Mitzrayim. So, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to wish you all the best success, best of luck, and you should have your clear thoughts, clear mind. Maybe a few minutes before you do the bdika, take 5 minutes to meditate, 10 minutes, do your itbodedut, talk to Hashem, get your thoughts straight. What do I want to refine? What do I want to change? What is the Mitzrayim that I want to leave? Don't jump into it and chick-chack and get it over with so I can go to sleep. It's a very auspicious time. The universe right now is aligning in an angle that allows you to make huge changes in your life. You just have to come, you have to do it. Nobody else will do it for you. But you have a 95% push from Hashem. Needless to say, the same thing tomorrow with burning the chametz and then the whole preparation of the seder. Bezrat Hashem, we're going to have a beautiful seder here with a lot of explanations, and we're going to go through all the details, everything that we need to know. Bezrat Hashem, I wish you a kosher and a happy Pesach, and we should all be liberated from our own limitations, but the main limitation that we're still stuck in exile, in this exile, we should be redeemed from slavery to freedom, and we still have the opportunity. Last year we said Shana Haba B'Yerushalayim. It can still happen. We still have less than 24 hours. Bezrat Hashem, it should happen very soon. B'kosher and happy Pesach. Bezrat Hashem will continue tomorrow. רבי חנניה בן הקשיא אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל, לפיכך הרבה להם תורה ומצוות, שנאמר אדוני חפץ למען צדקו יגדיל תורה ויאדיר.